Now setting proper motivation with 3 points. Refuge field. What to visualize, how to visualize. Bodhicitta field, what to visualize and how to visualize. And the purpose of practice is to activate or awaken this Buddha nature that exists within us since time immemorial, and not just us, all sentient beings, whether somebody is a believer or non-believer, or whatever religion one is following, whatever ethnicity one belongs to, whatever race, and whatever education background, everyone has this Buddha nature, the seed of awakening, the seed of perfection. And awakening which the person experiences the ultimate happiness, like a sun which the cloud cannot obscure anymore. So this capacity everyone has, this potential everyone has, unfortunately it is obscured by the mental developments, and because of which we don't see it manifest. And the mental developments which obscure this is of two kinds, the gross and the subtle. And the gross one, the presence which obscures us from achieving freedom from samsara, it is known as the afflictive obscurations, which is of 3 kinds: contaminated karmas, afflictions, and the active seeds or the active imprints of the earlier 2. And on the other hand, we have the cognitive obscuration or the subtle stains. These stains manifest, these stains are reflected in the form of appearance of objective existence to all our minds, except for the non-dual mind. So that is the cognitive obscuration, and the inactive seed, which cannot manifest in the form of gross self-grasping ignorance, but in the form of the appearance, objective appearance of the things to the non-dual mind. That is the cognitive obscuration. And what can eradicate the afflictive obscurations, knowing that all the afflictive obscurations are rooted to this self-grasping ignorance, it is by introducing the light of the wisdom of emptiness, to see things as empty of objective existence, that is the final remedy to overcome the afflictive obscurations. And this wisdom must be enhanced by or motivated by the driving force of renunciation, very refined renunciation. Whereas on the other hand, for the cognitive obscuration, it is through the same wisdom of emptiness, but the driving force must be much more powerful. It must be the Bodhicitta on top of the renunciation. So with this in mind, and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're so happy what are you doing today, and you're inspiring your 2 kind parents, all demon sentient beings to be with you in this journey of cleansing the mind, inner journey. And all sentient beings, they happily join you with this mind, and you are leading this. Let's turn to page 2. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the Consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the Buddhas and of the hearers and Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes souls having migrated to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of omniscience, the subduers set forth the varieties of having all aspects, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualization of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Okay, page 7. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Shuddha Soge Chonam La Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyabzuj Dage Jinzo Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjir Sanje Dubaresho Sanje Shuddha Soge Chonam La Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyabzuj Dage Jinzo Gebe Sonam Ge Chola Benjir Sanje Dubaresho Sanje Shuddha Soge Chonam Chanju Bardo Dane Gyabzushi Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Chola Benjir Sanje Dubaresho. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Shantathagato Hyavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Eva Mati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Shantathagato Hyavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Shantathagato Hyavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Okay, page 10. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, and over the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced our 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best lot, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like a gold, to you I prostrate. Dust-free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to thusness I prostrate. A purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one part, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies the prostrate, to those who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's oceans, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Heart Sutra, page 15. 3 points not to miss. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time in Rajgriha, together with the great community of monks and the great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Adavadavitishvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five figure gates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Adavadavitishvara: how should any child of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Adavadavitishvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra, who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Dhyata Om Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom just like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Adavadavitishvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Adavadavitishvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Bhagavan. Okay. As we recite the household mantra, just imagine the Buddha Shakyamuni, a very compassionate teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, and Lama Silingpa. They were all exhorting us thus: don't remain in the fears and the angst and the anxiety, misery of samsara. Come out of that. Come towards ultimate happiness. By awakening the seed of Buddha nature within you, by seeing the reality, wake up from the sleep of ignorance. And you hearing this melodious voice of the Buddha Shakyamuni, you then inspire your two grandparents and all the family members and all dear sentient beings. Hey, this is what a compassionate teacher and Lama Selingpa, all enlightened beings, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, this is what they are. advising us, they're exhorting us, let us not stay in samsara anymore. Why should we suffer like this? Why not we go towards the ultimate happiness? Come along with me. Let us all go together. And hearing this, all sentient beings, they happily join you. And you are leading this, and everyone is joining you. And Buddha and all the enlightened beings, they are so happily welcoming you, and all sentient beings. Tirtha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha 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 Tirtha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha. Page 18. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may in and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. It was in mind training, particularly to distinguish or segregate the two things, the self-referential ego and the self-confidence. And knowing that all the miseries we dislike, they all are rooted to the self-referential ego, which is in a loose sense, which is simply constituted of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And then on the other hand, we have the self-confidence, which is the root of all the virtues, which is the root of all happiness. And oftentimes, the ordinary people, they tend to equate the two things. When the self-confidence is so high, the ego also shoots up. And when the ego is down, again, self-confidence also goes down. And whereas the saints, they're really enlightened, evolved beings. So whosoever is able to slowly make the separation wider and wider and wider, and the two things, not instead of equating, separate the two things and making them wider, 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 while you enhance, you boost your self-confidence to a great height, the self-reference ego, when it is made so low. So this is the indication of becoming evolved, and whosoever is able to boost the self-confidence to the highest peak, the highest state, and the self-referential ego 0. So that is the full enlightened one. So this is how we distinguish between the ordinary beings and the enlightened beings. So everyone has the capacity to eventually subdue the self-represented ego and boost the self-confidence. It's not that some beings are enlightened, so we are the unfortunate ones. It's not true. Everyone has that capacity. It's simply like the stupa, a very dull, dusty stupa, one of the stupa, and the another one which is a golden stupa. So superficially we see a strong contrast between the two, but even this, the dull one-out stupa can be turned into golden stupa without having to demolish the dull stupa. Just remove one brick, one-out brick, and replace it with a golden brick. And tomorrow again remove one brick, one-out brick, and again replace that with the golden, the gold stupa. You keep doing like this, keep doing like this, and without evidence seeing that you are demolishing the old stupa, stupa intact, and slowly it starts to glow. It starts to glow more and more and more. Then at one point we see that it is perfectly glowing as much as what the golden stupa which was earlier seen. So the golden stupa, the initially what we saw, it symbolizes the Buddha's enlightened beings, and the worn-out stupa which exists earlier, it symbolizes us. So it is through our effort that we can eventually become Buddha. So how? It is by distancing. First of all, distinguish the two things: self-referential ego and self-confidence. And on this basis, we are not to have any sense of self-hate at all, because the self-hate, this is the greatest of the failure. Why should we have self-hate? We may go through the failure so many times. It is not because of you, it's because of the self-grasping, ignorance and self-centered attitude. If you really want to hate someone, don't hate yourself. This self is so precious. Just hate these two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. And I'm so happy that during the last few days of meeting with the individuals, I'm so happy that some of you, they really get the conviction that yes, indeed, now I need to work on the two demons, self-grasping, self. So this really made me so happy, and this is a real dharma. So the 8 verse of my training, it is to subdue the self-grasping, the self-centered attitude, and particularly in ways of how these two manifest in the form of anger, and leaving no room for anger to arise by always subduing this self-referential ego and boosting your self-confidence. Okay. Let's read together. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind. May I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered the jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have held or on whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From our 2 collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down, with the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way. with a sense of deep respect and with as many bodies as atoms of the world. To all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every atom are Buddhas numberless as atoms, each amidst a host of bodhisattvas. And I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way, with infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice. I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you gone to bliss. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, offer to you victorious ones. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offering in spectacular array, offer to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless as vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who attain the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With pure palms together, I earnestly request you who are actualized parinirvana, for the happiness well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have created by paying homage, offering and acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate this full awakening of all beings. Okay, mantle offering. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Om Sajibhage Joshimendo Tam Redob May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming frustrated with ignorance that grasps with true existence. Please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with a precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ranam and Lagam Nirate. Amen. We get the foundation of all good qualities. This is the main practice. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and the perfect Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into sea of samsara, so for all mother migratory beings, please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if develop Bodhicitta, morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vow with great energy. Once I pacify distraction to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may I could attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay. The Shamatha practice, renunciation, bodhicitta, and emptiness. As a part of the Shamatha practice, initial physical exercise. Okay, great. Ready? Okay, pull. Okay. See, those of us who have some backache problem, and particularly due to long sitting posture, due to long sitting, upright sitting posture, meditation, what we do is that we hold the two knees with your hands, and then straighten your arms. And then you can start from anywhere. Okay, let's to make it a little standard. Let's say first we move the right shoulder towards the left knee, right? And when you do like this, the right arm should be straight, and the left arm we can little curve like this, bend. Okay, and then do it like 3 times, and then the left shoulder to the right knee 3 times. Again 3 times, right? So if you do this slowly, you see that your back is being stretched. Your back is stretched. We see that because of this, slowly the strain on the vertebrae, the strain in the spine will happen. And when you do this, the stretching, it will again stretch and the strain will be relieved. So you can feel that you will feel the ease at your back. Okay, let's do this. And the younger ones, see if you can really touch. Right, and the elders may not be able to touch, but some elders may be doing the yogas. Best if you can touch, but still don't worry. The idea is that the back should be stretched. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the shoulder should come out like this. The shoulder should come out, and the hand should be straight. Right, shoulder should come out. Okay, then try to see. Okay, done. Okay, do it. Do this. Do. Do you feel that your back is being stretched? Huh? Very good. Okay. And then the next one. Right. Even some of the younger ones, they are worse than the elder ones. Yeah, I'm going to see that. Okay, let's see now the other one. The other one, say first with the right shoulder, turn it outside. 1, 2. Don't move the other shoulder. Right? Don't move your head. Don't move the other part of the body. Just move the shoulder. Rotate it. 1, 2, 3. Then inside. 1, 2. And the hand, if possible, don't move too much, right? Hand, just keep it. Make sure that just the shoulder is rotating. 1, 2, 3. Then outside. 1, 2, 3. Then the left shoulder inside. 1, 2, 3. And then outside. 1. Not just up and down. Some do up and down. Okay. Initially it becomes like this. Initially it becomes like up and down. But slowly you have to make sure that it is rotating. Right? It will take little time. Meanwhile, be watchful, mindful that other parts of the body, they are straight. They are not moving. And then inside. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do it. If possible, rotate it fully, like up, then front, down, back, up, front, down, back. Okay. Okay. Then you do both together. Okay, outside. 1, 2, 3. Then inside. 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay, so if you can do this before your actual session, it will be refreshing. Again, it will contribute to keeping you refreshed. Okay. Next, the breathing meditation. In fact, it will be good that even if we do, for example, say Bodhicitta, wisdom emptiness, so this all fall under the analytical meditation. Analytical meditation, it will be good, and not only good, in fact, it should be done, right? Whereas if you don't have time, like 5, 10, more than 10 minutes, then we cannot do it. Okay, otherwise, it is highly advisable to do shamatha meditation at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Meanwhile, as beginners, don't do it 5 minutes or 10 minutes in one stretch. The quality is going to be missing. So for the shamatha practice, right from the beginning, emphasize on the quality. For the shamatha, particularly like the breathing, for the breathing. Now for the meditation on the Buddha image. Buddha image, right? For the image, don't focus. Okay, there are two things: subject and the object. For the Buddha image, right? Object arises the Buddha image. This again you have to mentally create. It's not readily easily available. The breath is readily available. It's already there. You don't have to create breath. Buddha image object you have to create. First of all, your mind has to create. Your eyes shouldn't be looking at the Buddha image, right? You can look at it first. You can just look at it first, because mental image which comes later, comes to your mind, mental consciousness will be much clearer when you look at with the eyes like this, and then you can keep this aside, then you focus on it, it will be much clearer, right? So those who want to do the Buddha image as the focal point, that's oftentimes the encouraged very much, because for two reasons. One is that you gain single-pointedness. Number two, that you accumulate enormous merit in the process. For the breathing meditation, the breath is neutral. Breath is neutral. It's not a virtuous object, breath per se. And by doing this practice, and then simply through the mind stabilizing it, then it becomes virtuous. Not because of the object. Object is neutral. Whereas the Buddha image, the object is so virtuous. And because of which, in the process of stabilizing, you are constantly accumulating the virtue of being mindful of the Buddha. This is so precious, right? True. Now for this object you have to create, and the subject you have to stabilize. Both things have to be done, right? So, pertaining to the object, my teacher, Venerable Genlam Rinpa, amazing great teacher, and the lifelong the solitude, the solitary retreatant. And I remember, he said, and also in his, I don't know where I read it, his books, he very clearly mentioned that for the object, don't emphasize on the quality right from the beginning. Don't emphasize on the quality right from for the object, for creating the object. For the subject, you have to emphasize the quality right from the beginning. That you are not distracted, that you are not in a lax state, that you always... So this quality must be there right from the beginning. It is for this reason, for the subject, it is for this reason that the sessions, all the great saints, they unanimously say that in the beginning, sessions should be shorter and more in number. In the beginning, sessions should be shorter. Why? If you keep it long, quality is disrupted. So short means you can have the quality there because it's so short. Quality can be there. And with the quality, then you do it more. So you see that there are many short sessions which are all high quality, very, very qualitative, right? And then when you see the quality there and the little stable, then you can prolong the session, right? Say initially 21 cycles of the breathing, if you are doing the breath, 21 cycles of breathing, and then you can prolong it. Say 25 cycles of breathing, maximum will take you like little over 1 minute, and then you extend it to slowly 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. From the 5 you can extend to 10. You don't again go to 6, 7. With the 5 you already gain some stability, some kind of stability there. With this experience, so initially we don't have any experience at all. So with a little bit of experience, 5 minutes is pretty long. So with this, then you can extend to 10 minutes and see how the mind works. And if you lose the quality, again don't extend. Keep there 10 minutes and see to retrieve the quality. Okay. Whereas for the object meaning the Buddha image, don't focus on the quality right from the beginning. If you focus on quality, it can give you so much of strain in your mind, and it will not come. The quality will not come to your mind, and then it will make you. It will upset you, and it can make you agitated, and then you just feel like giving up, right? Because the quality will not come in the first place. So don't focus on the quality. Simply say, for example, if one really is keen on the Buddha image, you keep a very good image. For example, this Buddha image is particularly designed for that purpose. Tibet House, we designed this just for that purpose, right? Even this, so many hands are there in designing and making sure that the quality is there. And first we blew this up to a very large size, and then make sure that everything is so clean, so clean, what do you call it, with the proper, it is not blurry, clean. And then we shrink the size to this, so the resolution is so good. So this is how we did it, just for this purpose. And so many people, even the Tibetan staff, many of them receive scolding, because you did not do this, scold from the director. Yeah, you can't even do this. No, this should be done like this. No, then this. No, we cannot do it. No, just do it like this. Again, some idea is given. Again, they tried it. And finally, it came. So many hands involved. Okay, so this is just for that purpose, right? So what we do is that we look at it. Look at the Buddha image, of course, with profound, deep respect. So we look at the Buddha image in two ways. One, the silhouette. Silhouette meaning just the shape, just the overall shape, not the details, just overall shape. What the Buddha looks like, the head, the shoulders, then just overall shape. One, right? Look at it. One, this is how you should look at it. And then the aura, what do you call it? The halo. Overall, just the overall shape. Okay. And next is, then you go through the details from the tip, crown, to the hairs, to the forehead, to the eyebrow, then the eyelash, then the ears, then the eyes, nose, lips, the chin, then the throat, then the shoulders, like this, go into details down, slowly down, go into details. Two things, right? Details. Then you can also go from the bottom up, from the lotus petal. Actually, the down there, it should be the lotus petal. So this Buddha is the statue from the main temple in Bodh Gaya, right? So from the lotus temple, from the lotus base to the Buddha's knees, then the thighs, and then the ribs, and then the two hands, then the shoulders. We slowly go up with the details. Okay, so there are two things to incorporate. One is the overall shape, just the generic overall without the details. Just overall shape should be very precise, right? One. Number two is the details from the top down, and from the down top. Okay, once you have this, then in your meditation, don't go into the details right from the beginning. As a beginner, say your eyes are 4 to 5 degrees cast down, and at the distance of arm's length, or up to your arm's length, or full prostration length. So at that distance, at your forehead level, you imagine the same Buddha, say thumb size, same Buddha thumb size, facing towards you. Okay, that is on your forehead level. And then you visualize the Buddha as so brilliant and very heavy. So brilliant and very heavy. As heavy as the lead. So brilliant, why? The brilliance will help us to eliminate our laxity. And the heaviness will help us to eliminate our mental excitement. Right? Heaviness will help you that. Okay, so now when you visualize it, you just visualize the Buddha image in the outline. Just the outline, just the shape. Don't go into the details. As long as you can get to just say the shape of the Buddha proper size, like thumb size, that is good enough. Don't go into details. First, just see if you can have this. Once you have this, then try to go from the top, the crown, the hairs, then the eyelids, the forehead bindu, like this, you then slowly go around. As you go down, don't forget the details that you visualize at the beginning. Don't forget those details, right? Keeping the details, whatever you visualize, from there you keep expanding it by adding more, adding more. And then this is what I'm saying theoretically. And practically speaking, as you go down, you're bound to lose the earlier ones, right? You're bound to lose the earlier ones. Just keep doing down. Meanwhile, just keep in mind that if you lose, don't worry. If you lose, just keep in mind that, okay, it is there. Although you don't see the details, it is there. I know it is there, right? And then you keep going down. Again, from the top, again come down and make sure that, okay, this time I'll not lose it. So this is how we have to develop, right? So for the Buddha image, we have to create the image. Then the next one is the first one is the breath, then the Buddha image, then for example, the mind, awareness of the mind. Awareness of the mind, you can't even create it, right? One, you don't see it, number one. Number two, you cannot create it, number two. Number three, because the breath is so visible, you don't have to create, it's so visible, it's right there. And the Buddha image, although it's not visible, it is not there, you can easily create it, relatively easy, you can create it. Now with the mind, it's not easily available, because the moment you think about the mind disappears. The mind disappears. So you cannot create mind, because the mind is there, you cannot create it. You cannot artificially create it, because it should be there. You should be observing the mind which actually exists. You are not just imagining the mind and observing it. It is incorrect. So what is there is so subtle, right? And you cannot see that. And on top of that, you cannot create it. Like the Buddha image. Buddha image, we can create it. We can create it. So this one, you cannot create it. So for this, one should be... So the earlier saints, they emphasize so much that one should have an acute, enormous amount of merit in order to identify the mind. It is for this reason that there's a tremendous emphasis on what is known as Ngundo. Ngundo means preliminary practices, like this number of 100,000 times of prostrations, this number of 100,000 times of the model offering, this number of 100,000 times of the refuge, Bodhicitta, right? And then the offering and so forth. So all these things are meant to create enough merit so that when you put effort, you can slowly go deeper, and eventually see this mind. Okay, one. Number two, that if you study psychology, Buddhist psychology so well, and in fact the Buddhist psychology which is designed and taught in the monastic universities. So on top of this, the main gist from what is being studied in the monastic universities of the other subjects, like what we discussed earlier, the 4 concentrations, then the 4 formless realms and so forth, and many aspects from Tantra, how the subtle mind works, right? All these things we put together and create a new psychology, new Buddhist psychology. So at the moment, the psychology that we see in monastic universities, they do not include these aspects, because this psychology is taught to the beginners, and the more detailed, precise psychology is what the students should be knowing after the prolonged studies of the other texts, right? So I think it would be good to include many of the aspects for that psychology book Tibet House compiled. So it has many things which were not included in the conventional psychology textbook, conventional Buddhist psychology textbook. So these things if we can add from there, then of course the accumulation merit in these things are important. But if you have this facility of having studied the Buddhist psychology into more detail, then you can see your mind more easily. You can see your mind because you know how the mind in general works. And then you just keep observing it. Then slowly you start seeing the mind. And to see the mind is so difficult. One is so difficult. It's so difficult because we cannot say that. Say, for example, the virus, bacteria, and so forth. However minute they are, you cannot see it with your naked eyes. But you show this on the what? No, not electron microscope. That is for atoms. The microscope, right? The normal microscope. So even do you see some red patches there? Oh yes. Where? Where is it? And slowly, you're able to see that, because what I see and what you see is just the same, right? Whereas for the mind, what I see and what you're seeing, and in the first place, there's no microscope to look at the mind, and then you cannot say, are you seeing something? No. So therefore, even for the teacher to identify what the mind is to the student is so difficult, right? It is only through some clues, indications, right? It is like this, it is like this. Okay, what kind of experience do you get? First, the teacher has to listen from the student. As the student conveys experiences, from there the teacher could make out where the student... Otherwise, if the teacher says something, it doesn't make any sense to the student. Right? Okay, so and then the emptiness, of course, it is not difficult to. It is difficult to see. It is difficult to create. It is difficult to nothing of this kind. You have to intellectually learn. And then apply this in the experience. Intellectually learn, apply this in experience. Keep going like this together, hand in hand. These two should go together, right? Only then you will get something. Once you get something, don't get stuck there. Keep reading more, keep practicing more. You have to literally practice, meditate on it. Meditate, read more, meditate, read more. Then the landscape of the emptiness that you're going to see is going to change all the time. It's going to change all the time. It's not just, absence of objective existence of the flower, absence of objective existence of the cell, and it's not as simple as that. Right? This is how we articulate verbally. In experientially speaking, it is the same wording. Experientially, it has so many layers, it has so many landscapes. It is like, say, India is a huge land, right? From Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, from there you take a train till the Kanyakumari, till the end, for like 2-3 whole night, 3 nights, and no, I think 4 nights like this. 4 nights, 4 days you travel. You start seeing all different landscapes. You wouldn't believe there's one country, right? So likewise, the landscape of the emptiness, likewise, it has so many kinds of landscapes as you go into this, right? So therefore, with emptiness, first of all, to get emptiness, there's no other way other than to go through the intellectual learning. Learn 3 wisdoms. Wisdom derived through learning, wisdom derived through reflection, wisdom derived through meditation. This is the only way, right? And particularly for emptiness, without learning, it's impossible. It's impossible. Only if, one exception is only if you have already studied in Narendra University in your past life, then this life you're exempted, like Jesus Milarepa, exempted. Don't expect each one of us to be like Jesus Milarepa. Don't expect. If you expect like this, we don't have to study much, Jesus Milarepa, then you will end up nowhere, right? Then in the end you will regret. Just study. Don't expect that I've learned all these things in my past life in Narendra Monastery University. Don't expect that, right? Start from, just begin as though like I've not learned this from the past life in any ways. So I have to start from scratch. If you do like this, then you will reach somewhere, right? And if you have done something in the past, you will learn so fast. You don't have to worry that what you've done in the past is not missed. Okay, so with this 5 minutes, okay. Okay. Next, the refuge. For the refuge, the renunciation. We do it on the basis of the four seals. The same thing, instructions would not be given. Simply the lines, the four lines will be set one after other with interval of time. And as you meditate, when I cite the second line, no hurry, slowly wind up what you're doing with the first one and slowly move to the second. And of course, wind up the first one and remain in for like 2 or 3 seconds of the conviction. Yes, it's 100% sure that all composite things are impermanent. And then remain there in that state for like 2 or 3 seconds, or if you're in time, then you can stay for like 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then move to the second line. Okay, renunciation. Renunciation. The meaning is to renounce the miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the cause of the miseries, and the cause of the miseries are what you find in the dependent origination mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tathagato hyavatat. All phenomena arise from causes, and the causes are indicated by the tathagata. So what is indicated is the cause in the form of the misconception of the 4 kinds of distortions, misconceptions. Seeing impermanent phenomena as permanent, seeing misery as happiness, then seeing the selfless nature as of selfhood, and seeing the nirvana to be truly, the liberation to be truly non-existent. And these misconceptions are best addressed by the 4 seals. So in this connection, let us meditate on 4 seals. All composite things are impermanent. And impermanence, there are 2 levels, the gross and the subtle. Accordingly, you meditate. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. This experience of emptiness, where all conventional phenomena dissolve, just as when the flower is subjected to ultimate analysis, the flower dissolves, just as when yourself is subjected to emptiness, the self dissolves. Likewise, in this experience of emptiness, anything, including sickness, aging, death, anxiety, guilt, depression, fear, and so forth, anything that we dislike, when we subject the same thing to this ultimate analysis, everything disappears. Nothing from the side to hold on to say, and this is what makes me miserable. There's nothing there from the side that can make you miserable. So your mind, there's nothing there from the side from which you have to run away. There's nothing there. And there's nothing from this way towards which your mind is pulled. Involuntary pull and push stops. For the first time since time immemorial till now, you're experiencing the total, perfect rest of mind. This is a peace where the agitation stops, where the irritation stops, where the involuntary pull and push stops, where the loss of freedom stops. You have gained the perfect freedom. This is when you transcend sorrow. You gain the perfect freedom. This is absolute peace. how I wish that I soon experience this, how I wish that all the other sentient beings experience this, abide in this experience for a while. Okay. This is the most refined understanding of renunciation. All other versions, refrain from attachment to this life, refrain from attachment to good house, refrain from attachment to the future life, so forth. These are understanding of nirvana, but these are not the understanding of renunciation. But these are not the final understanding. The most final understanding of the renunciation has to be understood in the context of nirvana, in the context of emptiness. Okay. Now reinforce the visualization of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Selimba, Ara Maitreya, Ara Avalokiteshvara, Ara Manjushri, Ara Vajrapani, Ara Thara, Ara Nigarjuna, Buddha Parita, Ara Deva, Ara Sangha, Acharya Vasubandhu, Acharya Chandrakirti, Bodhisattva Chandideva, Bodhisattva Chandrakshita, Acharya Kamalashil, Bodhisattva Lama Silingpa, Bodhisattva Adhishatipangara Shri Jnana, and all these enlightened beings, Guru Padma Sambhava, Sajin Gungwa Nyingpo, Jesu Marpa, Jesu Milla, Sakya Pandita, Thakpal Hache, Lama Tsongkhapa, Gyaltsa Rinpoche, Khitru Rinpoche, Tumdung Gyewe Chungne, all these enlightened beings, imagine in front of you. And how are you to visualize them? They are so affectionate, like your loving mother. Intense love and affection showering on you. With a smile, very affectionate smile. They're watching you, they're observing you, they're looking at you. And your two parents on the two sides, all of your members around you, and all the other sentient beings. Everyone in the human realm, hungry ghost realm, hell realm, animal realm, Devadevi realm, formless realm, everyone, all sentient beings are with you. And you are the mother here, and all others are like children. You're intensely affectionate towards them. Okay, and the purpose of this practice is specifically to crush the self-centered attitude. With this mind, we'll do the four immeasurables. Again, the same thing. No guided meditation. I'll give you simply I'll cite the four immeasurables one after the other with the interval of time. Then you try to meditate on this, and then move on to the next as the next is cited. Okay. Immeasurable loving kindness. immeasurable compassion. Next, immeasurable joy. Next, immeasurable equanimity. underscore all five measurables is unconditional love. With this unconditional love towards all the dimensional sentient beings, imagine you are looking at the eyes of all dimensional sentient beings with tremendous love and affection, and to the extent that each one of the sentient beings, they feel themselves as so special in your eyes. With folded hands, we'll make a commitment to Bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind that exists in the universe, the most appealing mind that exists in the universe. Let us make let us make the three commitments. Wholeheartedly, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Abide in this courageous commitment of Bodhicitta, this most beautiful mind of enlightenment within you. Abide in this for a while. This is the practice, this is the meditation of stabilizing this Bodhicitta within you. Abide in this experience. Slowly transform this experience of the beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, horizontally sitting with your heart. Okay, it's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, but what guarantees that you can achieve Buddhahood? Of course, of the Buddha nature, every sentient being has a Buddha nature, the perfect seed of enlightenment within each one of us. But it is not awakened since time immemorial till now. Now how can you say that it can be awakened now? Why it did not happen until now? And how can you say that it'll happen in the future? How? Yes, that's true. So far, I've been deceived by the self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. I got the impression that two of them are the best of my friends. For the first time, I'm disillusioned. All these many lifetimes, since time immemorial till now, I've been constantly being deceived by the two demons. They are simply come in the facade of my friends. And look at the enlightened ones. What made them? There are no miseries at all with them. They are so free, they are full of compassion, they are full of wisdom, they are full of happiness and joy and bliss. And I'm constantly suffering terribly. If the self-grasping and self-centered attitude, the way they come in the facade of being my best friend and God, by now, till now, why am I suffering? And look at the Buddhas, why they are so happy, full of happiness, perfection. It's all because in the Buddha, self-grasping, self-centered attitude, these two are terminated. Instead, there's the wisdom of emptiness and the Bodhicitta. In my case, it's just opposite. So there's no difference only for these two factors. Within me, the self-grasping, self-centered attitude, and the outcome that I am going through is total miseries, endless sickness, aging, death, the pain of near dear ones, and so forth. And one moment of death, one moment of the acute pain, one moment of cancer is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of pleasures, however many you have experienced, however much you have experienced. They're all just illusion. They all become so hollow. They all become so depressing in the face of going through one moment of misery of cancer, one moment of misery of death, one moment of misery of seeing the separation from our dear near dear ones, and this all because of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. If I don't believe in this, look at the Buddha. How come that he's full of happiness, no miseries at all? And in his case, only difference is that he's devoid, he's afraid of this self-grasping, self-centered attitude, replaced by the wisdom of emptiness and Bodhicitta. Now, with this confidence, I will never extend my hand, extend my friendship to the two demons. I'll exterminate these two. How will I exterminate this? Yes, by the force of the wisdom of, by the force of the Bodhicitta, complemented by the renunciation. I'll resort to the wisdom of emptiness. What is the wisdom of emptiness? Okay, quickly retreat the experience of the emptiness that you meditated as the third seal, as a part of the four seals. Okay, quickly reflect on the emptiness of self. Okay, what are you made of? Going towards closer to the object. First of all, how does this person appear to you? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person appear to you? As like a dream, as like a movie projection, a movie projector, the movie being which is projected by the movie projector, or like no, it has nothing to do with the projector, like the mind. It's so independent of the mind. Okay, which of two? Of course, the second, so independent of the mind, not like the mind is a projector and projected itself. So seeing the self is so object real, this is the self-grasping ignorance, and that is deceptive. How can I know this? Okay. If it does exist objectively, remember what I think Arjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? In a like manner, if this person were to exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go close to this object? Okay, now let's go closer to object. Going closer to this object, we see that this self is nothing but made of the 6 elements. First, we see the thin layer of the skin, which is not me. Behind this is the fatty tissues, which is also not me. Behind that is the muscles and the cartilages, which is also not me. Then behind that is the bones, the skeleton, very scary skeleton. Of course, that is not me. Then the heart, the lungs, the liver, the gallbladder, the intestine, the kidney, the spleen, and so forth. And none of these is me. Oh, now I see that all this solid part which constitute the element of earth is not me. That's true. Now what is left? The element of water, the blood which is pumped in and out by the heart, this is also not me, 100%. Now element of fire, the body heat, is also not me, 100%. The element of air, the air which I breathe in and out, is also not me, 100%. Element of space, I'm a solid person, and the space and vacuum in nature, these two are very contradictory. For sure the space is not me, remove that. Now element of consciousness. This consciousness does not have a gender, and I have a gender. Okay. And this consciousness, people cannot see this consciousness, but they can see me. And people are, superficially people are attracted to each other, not because they see the mind as attractive, they simply see the physical appearance as attractive. So therefore, for sure, even this consciousness is also not me. What is left now? Nothing is left there. What are you seeing now? I'm just seeing these 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is this person? None. Which means the self is not one with its parts, not one with its elements. Then removing the 6 elements, what is there as the self? No, nothing is there. Which means the self is not different. Objectively, the self is not objectively different from the elements as well. Okay. Now from the object, where is the self? The self disappears. The self is empty. Abide in this experience for a while. Is it that self is altogether non-existent? No, the self does exist. Self does exist. 2 questions. Self, does it exist or not? The answer is yes, it does exist. Does it exist objectively? To the second question, answer is no. With the first question, the answer that you get is a conventional self. To the second question, you get the ultimate truth of the self, that the self is empty of objective existence. Okay. This experience of the emptiness, about this experience, that the self, objectively, it is empty. Only 6 elements, whereas the self disappears, it is empty. Abide in this experience for a while. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean white thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk of the heart. Okay, amazing. You have the Bodhicitta and the Vishnu. Yes. What about your dear mother sentient beings? They're also suffering. You want them to suffer, or you would want them to be freed from suffering? Of course, I want them to be freed from suffering. Of course, I need to liberate them as soon as possible. The intensity of love and affection that you feel, wanting to liberate them, the compassion, loving kindness, they invoke the Vajra moon at your heart to multiply infinite number of times. She once said with your mother at her heart, one said with your father at his heart, one said with each one of your family members, including the children, one with each one of the beings, the people, the staff here in Rumakito Resort, and one with each one of the fish in the various ponds here in this place, one with each one of the insects, including mosquitoes, and then one with everyone in Indonesia, everyone in your own country, and everyone in the entire universe. Amazing. Now everyone has the moon symbolizing the conventional Bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And each one has his Vajra, symbolizing the ultimate Bodhicitta, which is the wisdom, the non-dual wisdom and emptiness of the Arahats and of the Bodhisattvas, Arya Bodhisattvas. Amazing, you have this. Meanwhile, don't forget that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're so happy, so proud of you, they're watching us. They're so happy, so proud of us. Yes. With the profound respect, why not we make a request to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be a witness, to be our guests on this occasion of undertaking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. As a gesture of making a request, let us slowly stand up along with all dear sentient beings to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Sit in the right knees. Page 34. Page 34, stanza 1. To prepare ourselves to take this aspiring Bodhisattva vow, and wholeheartedly recite this while flowing your mind in the meaning of these words, and wholeheartedly feel. Okay, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, so with great excitement, they are watching what we are doing today, undertaking this aspiring Bodhisattva vow, which they themselves had taken so many times in the past, which made them what they are now. And now they're so happy, like the parents, like the mother who went through all these schoolings. Now her child, for the first time appearing into the main performance and the performance so far, the mother is with great excitement watching and witnessing what the child is doing. This exactly was happening here with tremendous love and affection from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all the dear sentient beings, including to parents and every one of your family members, like your children, and everyone is joining you. And why not we let them have their share of this taking the Asmin Bodhisattva vow on this holy land of Lama Selingpa and at the Bodhisattva the Bodhicitta Bhagavad Shri Jnana. So just whether they pass away or whether they are still alive, just bring them in your mind, with you, very close to you, and particularly the very difficult people. Difficult means their basic behavior is not so good, and because of which people around them always they are being they disturbed by this same person, and because of which this person does not receive love and affection from others. So this person is very, very unhappy. So they really deserve your compassion. Especially bring that person close to you and give him or her the share of undertaking this Asmin Bodhisattva vow. Okay, and you are leading this. Okay, hold on to say this. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next two stanzas, this is so important. Now I will not go into too much detail. Invoking the Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as the witness, as we did already. And the first stanza is to do with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, how they become Buddha for two reasons. Initially motivated by very intense bodhicitta, wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And then this second factor, to materialize this aspiration for bodhicitta, they engaged in bodhisattva practices, such as 6 perfections, 10 perfections. Likewise, with the second stanza, likewise, I will follow the footsteps and by initially generating very intense bodhicitta, and to materialize this aspiration, I'll also engage in the bodhisattva practices. And then during the third repetition, the last 2 lines, imagine that you receive the bodhisattva vow, and they rejoice in this. Okay. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta. Likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Rejoice in this. Amazing. So we have now only about 2 days. Rejoice in this. This is a great, great moment. This is a great moment. This is a great moment, incredibly great moment. Rejoice in this. Amazing. So this act of taking the Asmin Bodhisattva vow, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're so proud, so happy, so intensely happy. And they see that it is like the mother, for the first time, seeing the eldest daughter or the eldest son making the commitment, I will take the responsibility of my siblings. Mother, you have done everything for us. Please take rest. Please take rest. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of my siblings. I'm already grown up. And the mother, in disbelief, with tears rolling on cheeks,
She could not believe what she's hearing now after all these many years of hardship. For the first time, although the daughter is so young, age 14, age 13, and the son is so young, age 14, 13, still here she is making this commitment. Amazing. This is exactly what all the Bodhisattvas they are feeling today, that you made this courageous commitment by undertaking this aspiring Bodhisattva. Amazing. Amazing. This is what will eventually make you like a sun who has the capacity to eliminate the darkness by illuminating every atom of the universe. You will become one like the sun. This is what exactly Buddha is, and you will also become like that. So the Buddha feels you so special, like the closest of the daughter, closest of the sun, closest of the heiress. This is what is happening today. And this intensity of love and affection, a pride all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel, they invoke the full-fledged version of the Vajra moon that they have, which is the full-fledged version, to multiply infinite number of times, proliferate infinite number of times. And in Virajas, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize at your heart. They become non-dual, stabilized and blessed. The one that if your heart is, it becomes non-dual. With the replicas descending from the Buddhas, they become blessed and stabilized. In the same fashion, in Virajas, like rain shower, the replicas of the Vajra moon from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they all descend to one, to merge with the one that visualizes the heart of your mother, at the heart of the father, at the heart of each one of your family members, each one of your children, each one of your family members, each one of the beings here in Rumakito, the beings here in Indonesia, in your own country, in the entire the world systems in Milky Way galaxy, and the entire world systems in the universe, entire universe. Amazing. Now this, the moon that you have, that all beings have now, blessed by the moon of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. That is the conventional Bodhicitta. That is a final remedy to overcome the self-centered attitude, the one demon. And then the Vajra, which is blessed by the full-fledged version of the Vajra, the wisdom of emptiness, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which bless the one that visualizes your heart and all the Dhamma sentient beings. This is the final remedy to overcome the self-grasping ignorance. So this is the greatest offering that you made to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And there's nothing which will make the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas more happy than when you generate this. So therefore this is the greatest offering. And this greatest gift to all your Dhamma sentient beings. Today it happens on this holy land of Lama Selingpa, where once, 1,000 years ago, so many practitioners, including monks, nuns, and lay devotees, they generated Bodhicitta with the help of the great enlightened the teacher Lama Selingpa. And today, with the help of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, with the kindness of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, we are able to do this, and this is happening all because of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It's for this reason that we'll slowly stand up along with all Dhamma sentient beings to make 3 prostrations as a thank you gesture for all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Okay, then let's turn to page 35. To make sure that this holy, this amazing, incredibly precious practice always stays with us in the future lifetimes as well. Okay. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even as the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even as the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even as the cosmic life. Okay, now to reinforce the compassion even more strongly, to invigorate the compassion, to get to the most refined version of renunciation, most refined version of bodhicitta. Let's reflect on the emptiness as we're going to read from the stanzas below. Therefore, sentient beings resemble dreams. Upon analysis, they are like pendant trays. Whether they are released or not from sorrow, ultimately there is no difference. What is there to gain and what is there to lose with things that are empty of true existence in this way? Who is there to pay me respect and who is there to abuse me? From what are pleasure and pain derived? What is there to be happy or unhappy about? When I search for the ultimate nature, who is there to crave and what is there to crave for? Upon analysis, this world of living beings is found to have no true existence. Therefore, who can die here? What is there to come and what has been? Who are friends and who are relatives? O you who are investigating reality, please recognize as I've done that all is just like a space. Those who wish to be happy are greatly disturbed by cause of all conflict and overjoyed by the cause of pleasure. Not finding happiness, they suffer, and in order to find it, they exert themselves. They argue with others and cut and stab one another. With many wrong deeds, they live in a state of great hardship. Even though they repeatedly come to happy existences and experience much pleasure there, upon dying they fall for a long time into the unbearable suffering lower realms. Within conditioned existence, the chasms of suffering are many, and the liberating comprehension of ultimate truth is absent. Furthermore, the apprehension of true existence and the understanding of emptiness mutually contradict one another. Yet if, while in conditioned existence, I do not realize this ultimate truth, I shall continue to experience a limitless ocean of misery, unbearable and beyond analogy. Likewise, through not having realized emptiness, I have a little strength for virtue, and my human life is indeed very short. Also, I strive hard to live long and avoid illness. I am concerned with hunger, rest, and sleep. I am injured by others and keep meaningless company with the childish. Therefore, this life swiftly passes with no meaning, and it is very hard to find a chance to investigate reality. In this stage, where is there the means to reverse the beginnerless habit of grasping a true existence? Furthermore, devils are exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. They show us many mistaken paths, and it is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to find the leisure of a human life again, and extremely difficult to find the flood of disturbing conceptions. Alas, sentient beings will continue to suffer. Oh, indeed, it is worth falling sorrow for those that drift in the river of pain, who, although they experience great misery, are unaware of the suffering they go through. For example, some ascetics wash themselves again and again, and others repeatedly enter a fire. But although they thereby suffer greatly, they pride themselves in being content. Similarly, those who mistake their suffering for joy and live as though there was no aging in death are first of all killed by the Lord of Death, and then experience the unbearable misery of falling into the lower realms. When shall I be able to extinguish the pains of those tormented by the fires of suffering with the rain of my accumulated happiness that has sprung from the clouds of my merits? And by having, in the manner of not referring to true existence, respectfully gather the accumulation of merit, when by referring to the other will I be able to reveal emptiness to those who are wretched and sad? Okay, now rejoicing. In order to further increase it from now on, those with discernment who have listlessly seized an awakened mind in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my love has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall they disgrace or pollute this
Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakened mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that covers the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates the all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to the freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, direction prayer. I dedicate the merits thus gathered to truth realization, the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May I know all life through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path of renunciation, Bodhicitta, the perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast as space as that I've emerged from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance.